Part 1. You're on the precipice. Right now. Hovering at the edge of dismissing this. Aren't you? I can feel that restless energy. That familiar flicker in your field. The subtle hum of your thumb itching to scroll. Your mind already formulating reasons to disengage before the deeper truths even begin to unfold. But what if this precise, instinctual urge to skip, this very pattern of seeking perpetual motion, is the energetic blueprint that has kept your reality looping in the same cycles, year after relentless year? What if the very content you're on the brink of avoiding is, in fact, the quantum key you've been unconsciously yearning for, the missing piece to unlock an entirely new dimension of your existence? This isn't some random algorithmic anomaly. This isn't coincidence in the traditional sense. You haven't stumbled upon this message by chance. The quantum field, in its infinite wisdom and intricate design, simply doesn't operate with such haphazard disregard for intention. Energy, the very fabric of existence, is a direct follower of attention, and your soul's deeply encoded attention has, with undeniable precision, been drawn to this specific vibrational frequency at what feels like exactly 11:11 on the cosmic clock. Why? Because something within you, a profound intelligence far beyond the grasp of your conscious, logical mind, whispers that you are finally, irrevocably, ready. Ready for what, you ask? Ready to finally, definitively, shatter the ingrained patterns that have been running your precious life on an incessant, unfulfilling autopilot. There's a foundational truth about manifestation, about the very mechanics of quantum reality, that most individuals, even those deeply engrossed in self-improvement, fail to grasp. It's the silent secret behind why some souls seem to effortlessly attract their deepest desires, their highest visions, almost as if plucked from the ether, while others, equally dedicated, chase endlessly, tirelessly, only to find their grasp perpetually slipping away. It's not about amplifying effort, thinking harder, or wishing with more desperate intensity. Those are merely surface-level vibrations. The true magic, the profound shift, occurs in a far more subtle, ethereal space. It manifests in the sacred stillness between your thoughts, in the deep, pregnant pause between each breath, in that fleeting, courageous moment when you consciously resist the conditioned urge to keep pushing, keep moving, and instead, finally, daringly, allow yourself to open and receive. Here's the most exquisite paradox, the quantum twist, the very impulse that magnetically pulled you to this exact digital threshold, that restless, insatiable energy, that compulsive need to endlessly scroll, to ceaselessly search, to perpetually consume content, to always be times doing asterisk. That very impulse is precisely what has been the most formidable, invisible block, preventing you from receiving the profound blessings and authentic desires your soul truly yearns for. You've been operating, perhaps unconsciously, within what I term the seeking frequency. Imagine a vibrational state where you are perpetually in motion, constantly in pursuit, always reaching, but paradoxically, never truly arriving anywhere. Take a moment, truly integrate this. How many endless videos on manifestation have you devoured? How many self-help articles, promising immediate transformation, have you consumed? How many times have you felt a potent surge of inspiration, only to find yourself, days or even hours later, inexorably pulled back into the same familiar, worn-out patterns? This persistent cycle reveals a critical truth. Inspiration, however dazzling, without true, embodied integration, is merely another subtle form of entertainment, a fleeting dopamine hit rather than a soul-level upgrade. And profound integration, the kind that rewires your very being, simply cannot occur when you are in a perpetual state of chasing the next shiny object, the next piece of information, the next fleeting distraction. Your nervous system, a finely tuned biological antenna, has been meticulously conditioned over years to believe that the ultimate answer, the missing piece, always resides times somewhere else, asterisk. In the next viral video, the next groundbreaking book, the next revolutionary technique. But what if the answer isn't in accumulating more information, more external data points? What if the liberation, the breakthrough, lies in finally, decisively stopping long enough to embody, to integrate, to times become times, the profound wisdom you already inherently possess, the infinite wellspring of knowledge you already have access to? This is precisely where the esoteric principles of quantum physics transcend abstract theory and become profoundly, viscerally practical. In the mystical dance of quantum mechanics, we observe an undeniable truth. The observer fundamentally affects the observed. Your very state of being, your energetic signature, your internal resonance, literally influences and shapes which infinite possibilities from the quantum field collapse into your tangible, physical reality. But here's the crucial caveat. If you are perpetually stuck in seeking mode, constantly grasping, always moving times towards time something, you are, by your energetic broadcast, transmitting a frequency of inherent lack, of not having, of needing to acquire something times else times to feel complete or whole. The universe, this boundless quantum ocean of infinite possibility, responds not to your fleeting mental wishes or superficial affirmations, but to your time's energetic state asterisk, the deep vibrational truth of your being. And if that energetic state is one of ceaseless motion, relentless seeking, and persistent not-enoughness, then that is precisely what the holographic mirror of reality will reflect back to you. More seeking, more experiences of not-enoughness, more frustrating rounds of almost, but not quite. But right here, right now, in this sacred, unfolding moment, you possess the unprecedented opportunity, the sovereign power, to decisively interrupt this self-perpetuating pattern. Not by times doing times more, but by courageously times doing less asterisk. Not by frantically adding another technique to your overflowing spiritual arsenal, but by finally mastering the ancient, yet revolutionary, art of reception. Because true reception, authentic quantum reception, demands stillness. It requires the profound courage to stop running from your magnificent self, long enough to allow what is divinely, inherently meant for you to actually land, to permeate your being, to integrate. Allow me to illuminate a deeper truth, a potent insight that might fundamentally recalibrate your entire understanding of how reality, your reality, truly operates. Every cherished desire you hold, every audacious goal, every vivid dream that stirs your soul, already exists in the vast, boundless quantum field as pure, untainted potential. The fundamental question is not whether it is times possible, times for it to manifest. For in the quantum realm, all things are possible. The profound inquiry is whether times you times are vibrationally aligned, energetically coherent, to consciously receive it. And this alignment, this sacred resonance, isn't something you can achieve through brute force or relentless effort. It is something you consciously times allow times through deep surrender, through profound stillness, through what I term conscious stopping. Conscious stopping is a radical departure from mere passivity or spiritual laziness. It is an active, sovereign choice to deliberately interrupt the ingrained momentum of incessant seeking and, in that created void, forge an expansive space for true, effortless receiving. It's an awakening to the powerful, yet often overlooked, truth that the very energy you've been expending to frantically chase your desires is often the very same energy that has been inadvertently pushing them away, creating an energetic, repelling force. Here, then, is your first quantum shift, a potent invitation to recalibrate your frequency. Right now, as you feel that familiar, insidious urge to pivot to the next thing, to mindlessly check your device, to scroll away from this resonant message, I invite you to pause, just for 60 seconds. Place your dominant hand gently over your heart center. Close your eyes, if you feel safe, and simply breathe, consciously, deeply. This isn't just about the physiological act of respiration. It's about invoking a profound coherence between your magnificent heart and your intricate brain. This simple, yet powerful act literally shifts your nervous system out of the frantic, dopamine-driven, seeking mode and gently ushers it into the open, expansive, receiving mode. And as the life-giving breath flows in and out, whisper this sacred affirmation to yourself, internally or softly aloud. I am ready to receive. Not, I am trying to manifest, or I am working toward my goals, which are statements of effort and future orientation. Simply, I am ready to receive. This single, potent phrase is a quantum command. It profoundly rewrites your energetic relationship with the quantum field. It sends an unmistakable signal to your entire biological and energetic system that you are no longer chasing, no longer operating from a frequency of lack. You are no longer existing times somewhere else asterisk, trying to times get somewhere else asterisk. You are here, now, open. Embark on this transformative practice for just 3 days. Every single time you feel that insidious urge to skip, to scroll, to move on to the next stimulus, pause, breathe, and whisper, I am ready to receive. Then, observe. Don't expect dramatic, instantaneous, life-altering fireworks. Instead, cultivate a heightened awareness for the subtle shifts, the gentle nudges, the small, yet potent, synchronicities that begin to weave themselves into the fabric of your daily reality. Watch how timely, unexpected conversations appear. Watch how the exact resources, the precise information you need, subtly make themselves available. This isn't mere mystical thinking. This is quantum mechanics in its most practical, applied form. Allow me to elucidate why this works at the deepest, most fundamental level. The principle of quantum entanglement reveals that particles can be instantaneously connected across vast, cosmic distances. When one entangled particle experiences a shift in its state, its quantum partner, without any apparent temporal or spatial delay, immediately mirrors that change. Your desires, your most cherished goals, your deepest, most authentic dreams, they are quantum entangled with you, woven into the very tapestry of your energetic blueprint. But this profound connection, this energetic activation, only truly comes online when you are operating from a state of coherence, not chaos. The incessant seeking, the endless scrolling, the perpetual motion, the constant mental chatter, this cacophony of external stimulation and internal noise creates time's quantum chaos asterisk. Your energetic signal becomes fractured, scattered, utterly unclear, often contradictory. But when you consciously stop, when you bravely create that sacred internal space, when you deliberately shift into receiving mode, you instantiate time's quantum coherence asterisk. Your energetic signal becomes pristine, sharply focused, undeniably potent. Most individuals are broadcasting a ceaseless static to the universe, then marveling in confusion why they are not receiving clear, resonant responses. They are attempting to manifest from a state of profound internal noise, and the immutable law of quantum resonance dictates that noise, inevitably, creates more noise. But clarity, born of stillness, creates clarity. Profound stillness, paradoxically, creates dynamic movement. Open reception, the act of allowing, creates effortless manifestation. Now, this is where the journey gets truly exhilarating, and where the vast majority of mainstream manifestation teachings profoundly miss the mark. Your conscious, analytical mind believes it knows precisely what you desire, what you need to achieve your goals. However, your consciousness is operating on multiple, profound levels, far beyond the confines of mere thought. There exists within you a deeper, ancient intelligence, what cutting-edge quantum biologists are beginning to refer to as your morphic field. A resonant, energetic blueprint that knows with absolute certainty what is in perfect, harmonious alignment with your highest good, your soul's deepest purpose. But this profound intelligence communicates not through shouted commands or dramatic, obvious signs. It communicates through subtle, almost imperceptible whispers, through gentle nudges, through an intuitive knowing that feels distinct from the logical mind. And these divine whispers, these profound insights, can only be discerned, can only be heard, when the incessant mental noise, the external distractions, and the internal static finally quiet down. When you courageously stop long enough to truly listen, to tune into the intelligence that has been patiently trying to guide you, to support you, to love you all along. Take a moment, right here, right now, and if you feel called, share in the comments below. When was the last time you received one of these whispers? One of those subtle, unmistakable knowings that felt inherently different from your ordinary thoughts? A truth that resonated deep within your bones? What was it trying to tell you? And, critically, did you follow its guidance? This is precisely why the practice of conscious stopping, the deliberate cultivation of receptive stillness, is so utterly powerful. It's not merely about receiving what your personality times thinks, times it wants. It's about consciously making yourself available, an open channel, to receive what your deeper, sovereign wisdom times knows, times you need. And more often than not, what you truly need is infinitely more expansive, more transformative, and far greater than anything your limited conscious mind could ever conceive or desire. So, prepare for your second quantum shift, a potent reorientation of your daily ritual. Every single morning, before the world's insistent demands can infiltrate your sacred space, before you instinctively reach for your phone, before you allow yourself to be swept into the day's relentless momentum, commit to sitting in profound stillness, just for 60 seconds. Place one hand gently on your heart, the other on your belly, and breathe, slowly, deeply. As each breath flows, internally affirm, whisper this truth into your being. I am here. I am present. I am not running today. This deceptively simple practice orchestrates what neuroscientists refer to as time's neural coherence asterisk. Your heart rate variability, a key indicator of nervous system balance, becomes profoundly rhythmic. Your brain waves, those intricate electrical patterns, synchronize into harmonious states, and your entire nervous system recalibrates, shifting into a state optimally designed for receiving profound insight, recognizing emergent opportunity, and attracting exquisite synchronicity. You are, quite literally, tuning your biological radio to the pristine frequency of flow, of effortless allowance, rather than the exhausting frequency of force, of pushing against the current. Commit to this sacred ritual for just 1 week, and observe with heightened awareness how dramatically differently your days begin to unfold. Not because you are times doing times more, but because you are times being times more present, more attuned. Not because you are pushing harder, but because you are courageously times, allowing times more. Time itself will begin to feel malleable, expansive. Opportunities, previously camouflaged, will become strikingly obvious, almost luminous. The perfect people, the precisely aligned connections, will appear at the most opportune moments, as if orchestrated by an unseen maestro. But here's the most profound understanding I wish to embed within your consciousness. At the deepest, most foundational level, this journey transcends the mere acquisition of more material possessions or the achievement of more external goals. This is about stepping unequivocally, majestically, into your authentic power as a conscious co-creator of your reality. Because true manifestation, the kind that transforms, isn't about manipulating reality from an external vantage point to force what you think you want. It's about aligning so deeply, so authentically, with your true, sovereign self, that reality, in its inherent intelligence, naturally, organically, reflects your deepest, most luminous truth. Most individuals, unfortunately, attempt to manifest from the limited perspective of their personality, from the clamoring of their ego, from their conditioned ideas about what they should want, based on societal pressures, comparison, or what others possess. But your personality, dear one, is merely the visible tip of an unimaginably vast, profound iceberg. Your consciousness extends far, far beyond your individual, personal identity, reaching into what quantum physicists refer to as the times, unified field times, or the times 0-point field asterisk, the exquisite, boundless space where all possibilities exist simultaneously, in a state of pure potential. When you consistently practice conscious stopping, when you courageously create that sacred space for reception, you are not merely opening yourself to receive external things, you are opening to receive profound insights from your deeper, higher self, unerring guidance from your intuitive wisdom, and powerful, transformational downloads directly from the unified field itself. You are remembering, in your bones, that you are not, nor have you ever been, separate from the creative intelligence of the universe. You times are times that intelligence, expressing itself uniquely, magnificently, through your individual perspective, your unique lens. And this is precisely where trust times becomes not just important, but absolutely essential. Because your deeper wisdom, that inner knowing, will often guide you in directions that your logical, fear-based personality would never, ever choose. It might gently whisper about a crucial conversation you need to initiate that feels terrifyingly vulnerable. It might subtly nudge you toward an opportunity that defies all logical, rational explanation. It might lovingly, yet firmly, ask you to release something you've been clinging to with a white-knuckled grip, believing it to be essential. Your personality, bless its protective heart, craves guarantees. It desperately wants to know exactly how everything will unfold, every step laid out, before it dares to take even a single action. But quantum reality, in its elegant mystery, simply doesn't operate from such linear predictability. In the quantum field, possibilities exist in what's called times superposition asterisk. Multiple potential outcomes simultaneously coexisting until the precise moment of conscious observation collapses them into a singular, tangible reality. This profound truth means that the most direct, most aligned path to your deepest desires often reveals itself one courageous step at a time, not as a meticulously detailed, complete roadmap. And taking that next, often uncertain, step requires an unwavering trust. Trust in the subtle whispers of your deeper knowing. Trust in the benevolent intelligence that is orchestrating breathtaking synchronicities behind the veil of the apparent. Trust that you are being exquisitely guided, even when you cannot yet perceive the full, magnificent picture. So, here, then, is your third quantum shift, perhaps the most exhilarating, and potentially, the most uncomfortable. This next shift will ask you to move forward precisely when your mind screams for certainty, when every conditioned instinct begs you to pause and analyze, when you receive a whisper, and you will know it, for it feels distinctly different from the frantic chatter of your mental processes, more like an embodied knowing than mere thinking. Act on it quickly. Do not succumb to the seductive trap of overanalysis. Do not wait for external validation or confirmation from 5 different sources. Do not permit your logical mind to construct 1,000 elaborate reasons why you shouldn't. Take the action the whisper suggests, even if it feels infinitesimally small. Send that message, make that daunting call, sign up for that seemingly irrational class, apply for that out-of-reach position, book that spontaneous trip. Whatever the intuitive guidance, follow it, swiftly. Before your egoic mind can conjure a labyrinth of fear-based excuses and rationalizations. This, beloved soul, is how you construct and fortify an unshakable trust with your innate, intuitive guidance system. Not through grand, dramatic leaps of faith, but through consistent, small, courageous acts of trust. Each time you honor a whisper, no matter how subtle, your confidence in your inner knowing blossoms, expands. Each time you act on that subtle guidance and witness it leading to something meaningful, something resonant, you deepen and strengthen your unbreakable connection to the quantum field of intelligence that is perpetually available to guide you, always. But here's an absolutely crucial caveat, a profound truth to integrate. The whispers do not always lead, where your personality expects them to. Sometimes, following your intuitive guidance will appear to lead to apparent detours, to what your ego might label mistakes, to outcomes that seem diametrically opposed to what you thought you wanted. Yet, I implore you, trust the process. Trust that your deeper, higher wisdom perceives a far more expansive, interconnected picture than your limited conscious mind can ever grasp. What ingrained pattern, what ancient story, what stifling belief are you finally, unequivocally ready to release, to shed, to create the necessary energetic vacuum for this new, expansive way of being to rush in? Drop it, with intention, in the comments below. For sometimes, simply naming what we are letting go of, declaring it, imbues us with the alchemical power to truly, irrevocably release it. I vividly recall working with a client who felt an undeniable, persistent whisper to quit a high-paying job she genuinely loved, to embark on a path that, from any logical perspective, made absolutely no sense. Her personality, her ego, was utterly terrified, screaming protests, yet the inner whisper remained consistent, clear, resonant. She chose to follow it. For months, it felt like an unmitigated disaster, a profound mistake. She grappled with financial scarcity, wrestled with pervasive self-doubt, constantly questioning if she had misinterpreted the divine guidance. But then, through a seemingly random connection she forged during that very mistake period, she stumbled upon her true calling, a profound purpose she could never, in a million years, have imagined from her starting point. This, my friend, is the essence of quantum navigation. You cannot, from your current vantage point, perceive the entire, winding path. You can only ever perceive the next illuminated step. But each step, when taken in profound trust, in unwavering faith, reveals the next step after that. And gradually, what initially appeared as a series of random, disconnected movements begins to coalesce, to form a magnificent pattern, a clear direction, an undeniable destiny far more beautiful, more expansive, more authentically aligned than anything your conscious mind could have ever meticulously planned or dared to envision. Take another moment, right now, and comment below with this exact, powerful phrase: I trust the whispers of my deeper knowing. I urge you to make this declaration, not just to me, the channel, but to the quantum field itself. Because when you speak a truth aloud, when you declare it publicly, with intention and presence, you are not merely articulating words, you are energetically collapsing infinite possibility into tangible probability. You are signaling to the universe, with undeniable conviction, that you are profoundly serious about this transformation. This is not mere engagement with a YouTube video. This is you, energetically, spiritually, signing up for an entirely new way of being, an elevated existence. This is you planting your sacred stake in the ground and declaring, with every fiber of your being, I am ready to live differently. And when a sufficient number of souls make this same, potent declaration, we collectively ignite what Dr. Rupert Sheldrake so eloquently terms a times-morphic field asterisk, a powerful, resonant pattern of consciousness that makes it infinitely easier for others to access and embody that same elevated state, to step into their own authentic power. Now, let us integrate everything we've discussed, all these profound insights, into a completely new, revolutionary way of moving through your very reality. Because once you have mastered the art of pausing instead of impulsively rushing, once you have consciously cultivated a sacred space for deep reception, once you have begun to trust and courageously act upon your inner guidance, something truly profound, truly alchemical begins to unfold. You will begin to live, not as an occasional, fleeting experience, but as your time's natural, default state of being, asterisk, in what I call time's flow state asterisk. Flow state isn't merely about achieving peak performance in athletic endeavors or unleashing bursts of creative genius. It is about living in exquisite, harmonious alignment with the natural, inherent rhythms of creation itself. It is about discerning, feeling, and knowing when it is time to move forward with inspired action, and when it is time to surrender into profound stillness. It is about speaking your authentic truth when you have something vital to express, and listening with open awareness when profound wisdom is attempting to reach you, to guide you. Most individuals exist in a state of perpetual resistance to these natural, divine rhythms. They force action when the energetic current is simply not present. They remain passive and inert when life is powerfully calling them to step forward, to engage. They speak when true wisdom demands they listen, and remain silent when their authentic voice is desperately needed to illuminate or inspire. But when you consciously tune yourself, like a finely calibrated instrument, into the deeper intelligence we've been exploring, you begin to viscerally, feel these subtle, yet powerful, rhythms. You begin to instinctively sense when to engage and when to gracefully step back, when to exert inspired push and when to practice profound, trusting allowance. Living in this harmonized way necessitates a fundamental reorientation, a complete paradigm shift in how you relate to time itself. Linear time, the relentless tick-tock of the clock, the crushing weight of deadlines. This external construct creates a pervasive sense of urgency, of pressure, the insidious feeling that you are constantly running out of opportunities, that you must always be productive. But quantum time operates from an entirely different, more expansive paradigm. In quantum time, there exist sacred moments for decisive action and equally sacred moments for profound integration, moments for open receiving and moments for conscious giving, moments for expansive growth and moments for necessary contraction. When you courageously honor these natural, divine rhythms, instead of forcing yourself into artificial, ego-driven productivity, your overall effectiveness, your impact, your creative output actually increases dramatically. You accomplish exponentially more by times doing less asterisk, but doing it at the time's right time asterisk, in the time's right way asterisk, from the time's right, aligned energy asterisk. If this truth resonates deeply within your soul, if you feel a stirring within, as if you've been waiting your entire life for someone to grant you permission to live in this authentic, powerful way, then I extend a profound invitation. Subscribe not just to this channel, but to this time's frequency asterisk. Because what we are discussing here transcends mere personal development content. It is a profound, ancient remembering. A remembering of who you truly are beneath all the layers of societal conditioning, beneath all the external shoulds and supposed tos, beneath all the incessant noise of the world. You are, in essence, subscribing to your time's own awakening asterisk. You are saying an unequivocal yes to the part of you that intuitively knows there is a more elegant way to live, a more graceful way to create, a more trustworthy guidance system than the fear-based, scarcity-driven strategies you've been indoctrinated with. Now, let us delve into the deepest, most foundational layer of everything we've been exploring. Every concept we've discussed, the practice of conscious stopping, the transformative receptive breathing, the unwavering trust in intuitive whispers, the graceful flow with natural rhythms. All of this, every single piece, is meticulously preparing you for what I call time's quantum living asterisk. And quantum living is predicated upon a single, profound truth that will completely, irrevocably transform your understanding of your relationship to reality itself. The truth is this: asterisk, you are not separate from what you desire. Asterisk. This is not a poetic metaphor or a spiritual platitude. This is, at its core, the elegant truth of quantum physics. At the deepest, most fundamental level of reality, the level that quantum physicists term the time's zero-point field asterisk, there exists no actual separation between the observer and the observed. There is no fundamental divide between you and what you are experiencing, between your individual consciousness and the boundless consciousness of the universe itself. Your desires, those deep soul stirrings, are not external entities you need to frantically attract from outside yourself. They are, in their purest essence, luminous aspects of your time's own consciousness, time seeking profound, magnificent expression through the vessel of your life. When you yearn for more love, that is your consciousness, in its infinite capacity, wanting to express its inherent loving nature more fully, more expansively. When you desire more abundance, that is your consciousness, in its boundless creativity, wanting to express its creative power more freely, more joyfully. When you seek deeper meaning, that is your consciousness, in its profound wisdom, wanting to express its inherent purpose more clearly, more authentically. This singular, paradigm-shifting understanding changes times everything, times about the process of manifestation. You are not striving to times get times something you don't possess. You are courageously, gracefully times allowing times something you already profoundly, times to express itself more fully, more vibrantly, through your unique human experience. You are not manipulating reality from an external vantage point. You are allowing reality to create times through times you, as times you. A conscious conduit for divine intelligence. But here lies the exquisite paradox, the quantum twist. This profound, effortless expression can only truly happen through time's surrender not through forceful exertion, through profound times allowing not through rigid control, through unwavering times trust not through calculated manipulation, because the precise moment you attempt to times your consciousness to express itself in a particular, predetermined way, you inadvertently create the very illusion of separation, the energetic friction that ultimately blocks the very expression you seek. It's akin to attempting to make a delicate flower bloom by frantically pulling on its petals. The harder you pull, the more damage you inflict, disrupting its natural, organic process. But when you meticulously create the optimal conditions, rich, nourishing soil, appropriate, life-giving water, adequate, loving light, the blooming occurs naturally, effortlessly, exquisitely. Your life, in its profound potential, is precisely like that flower, and all the sacred practices we've been discussing, the conscious stopping, the receptive breathing, the trust in intuitive guidance, the graceful flow with natural rhythms. These are the foundational conditions you cultivate, allowing your consciousness to express its deepest, most authentic nature through your magnificent human experience. This is precisely why the practice of stopping, the embrace of stillness, feels so incredibly powerful, so fundamentally necessary. It's not about being lazy or unproductive in the conventional sense. You are creating a vast, energetic space within your being for your deeper, inherent nature to emerge, to unfurl, to reveal itself. You are making ample room for profound inspiration to arise, unbidden and potent. You are allowing the boundless intelligence that orchestrates entire galaxies to flow, effortlessly, through your seemingly mundane daily decisions. And when you commit to living in this way, your life transforms from a series of reactive events into a conscious, living work of art. Not because everything becomes perfect or perpetually easy, but because everything becomes profoundly times authentic Every choice emanates from your deepest truth. Every action carries the resonant power of your full, conscious presence. Every relationship becomes a mirror, exquisitely reflecting your genuine, unadulterated nature. But here's where most individuals misunderstand the profound meaning of authentic living. They mistakenly believe authenticity is about compulsively expressing every fleeting emotion, vocalizing every random thought, or blindly following every single impulse. But that, beloved one, is not authenticity. That is merely time's reactivity, True authenticity is about expressing your deepest, most foundational nature, not your superficial, conditioned patterns. Your deepest nature is not synonymous with your personality, with all its inherent fears, fleeting desires, and ingrained, conditioned responses. Your deepest nature is what remains, pure and unblemished, when all the layers of conditioning and societal expectations gently fall away. It is the consciousness that witnesses your thoughts without being identified, times them. It is the awareness that experiences your emotions without being overwhelmed, times by times them. It is the profound presence that animates your body without being limited times by times it. When you learn to consistently access this deeper, more expansive level of yourself, and the practices we've been exploring are precisely designed to facilitate this, you begin to make choices from an entirely different, more powerful reference point. Instead of reacting from the echoes of your past wounds, you respond from the profound wellspring of your present wisdom. Instead of being ceaselessly driven by your ingrained fears, you are lovingly guided by your deeper, unerring knowing. Instead of perpetually seeking to get something from times life, you begin, effortlessly, to express something through life. This, my friend, is what I call conscious creation *, and it operates on principles that are fundamentally different from what most people comprehend about manifestation. Most conventional manifestation teachings fixate on external techniques, visualization boards, repetitive affirmations, meticulously crafted vision boards, as if reality were a lifeless machine that could be manipulated with the correct inputs. But reality, dear one, is not mechanical. Reality is, in its very essence, consciousness *, and consciousness, in its profound intelligence, responds to consciousness *, not to mere techniques. When you attempt to manifest from the level of your personality, from your ego's wants, fears, and limited understanding, you are, in essence, asking reality to comply with your small self's agenda, and sometimes, in a limited, fragmented way, it might work. You might acquire some of what you think you want, but you will also inevitably inherit the inherent consequences of operating from that constricted level of consciousness. The underlying stress, the pervasive fear of loss, the constant, exhausting need to control and maintain what you've painstakingly created. But when you learn to create from your deeper, authentic nature, something entirely different, something truly miraculous, begins to happen. You begin to effortlessly express possibilities that were never even accessible to your limited personality. You attract experiences that profoundly transform you, rather than merely temporarily satisfying you. You step into a life that is not merely better than what you had, but fundamentally, different, in quality, in essence, in soul-level resonance. Allow me to share a story that powerfully illustrates this critical distinction. I once had the privilege of working with a highly successful entrepreneur who, by all outward metrics, had manifested everything his personality had ever desired: immense wealth, widespread recognition, significant influence. Yet, beneath the polished exterior, he was profoundly miserable. He felt an aching emptiness, a deep disconnection, as if he were merely performing a role in someone else's life. Through consistent engagement with the practices we've been discussing, the conscious stopping, the receptive breathing, the trust in whispers, he gradually began to access his deeper, authentic nature, and what he discovered profoundly shocked him. His deeper wisdom, his soul's true calling, was not interested in more business success, more accumulation. It was unequivocally calling him toward something entirely different, something that seemed utterly disparate. Working with children who had experienced severe trauma, his personality was, understandably, terrified. How could he possibly walk away from everything he had meticulously built, from his empire? How could he dare to start over in a field where he possessed no formal credentials, no established connections, no semblance of financial guarantee? But the inner calling, the whisper, was undeniable, persistent, imbued with an unshakable truth. And as he began to courageously trust it, to take small, resonant steps toward this new direction, something truly magical began to unfold. His existing business success, instead of disintegrating, began to mysteriously, organically, support this new, soul-aligned direction. Unexpected opportunities arose, seemingly out of nowhere, for him to fund vital trauma recovery programs. His network, far from abandoning him, transformed into a powerful resource for the profound work he now felt called to do. His wealth, previously a tool for mere accumulation, became a dynamic instrument for profound service, for healing, for transformation. This, my friend, is the essence of authentic creation. You do not manifest times despite times your deeper nature. You manifest times through times it. And what emerges, what is created, is always, without exception, more beautiful, more meaningful, more sustainable, more profoundly aligned than anything your personality could have ever conceived or strategized. But this level of profound authenticity demands an incredible, often unsettling, courage. Because living from your deepest truth inevitably means disappointing some people who prefer you to remain small, predictable, within their defined box. It means making choices that, to others, may appear utterly illogical or even foolish. It means trusting your inner knowing, your intuitive compass, even when all external evidence, all logical data, seems to suggest otherwise. More than that, it means bravely facing and lovingly integrating the parts of yourself that you have meticulously avoided, repressed, or judged, because your authentic nature isn't merely comprised of light and love and positive energy. It includes your shadow aspects, your unhealed wounds, your fragmented, unintegrated aspects. True authenticity, in its most profound sense, is about becoming time's whole asterisk, not merely becoming nice or conventionally positive. What I've shared with you today, while potent, barely scratches the shimmering surface of what becomes truly possible when you learn to master your energetic frequency transmission. When you discover, with intention and presence, how to become the conscious broadcaster of your reality, rather than merely a passive receiver of whatever ambient signals happen to find you. In my comprehensive guide, Beyond the Frequencies, I meticulously walk you through the Time's 9 master frequencies, times that will utterly transform you from unconscious seeking into conscious, empowered being. It shows you, step by step, exactly how to shift from the chaotic survival static of your old patterns into the ascending, vibrant currents of creation itself. The link is securely nestled in the pinned comment below, waiting for you to embark on this deeper journey. This is precisely why the journey of conscious creation often includes what, from a limited perspective, feels like profound destruction. Old relationships, built on the foundation of who you times used to be may, with a gentle inevitability, fall away. Career paths that once felt safe and made logical sense to your smaller self may suddenly, powerfully, no longer feel aligned. Cherished beliefs about yourself and the world, once providing a comforting sense of security, may crumble, revealing a more expansive truth. But this apparent destruction, this seeming unraveling, is, in reality, a sacred time's reconstruction asterisk. You are not losing who you are. You are bravely shedding the confining layers of who you times never truly were asterisk. You are not destroying your life. You are courageously allowing your authentic, true life to emerge, vibrant and resonant. From beneath the dense layers of conditioning, compromise, and societal expectation. And here's what is truly remarkable, truly awe-inspiring about this transformative process. The more authentically, the more courageously you choose to live, the more you inherently, implicitly, give others the sacred permission to do precisely the same. Your unwavering courage to be raw, to be real, awakens the dormant courage in others to bravely drop their own masks, their own protective facades. Your profound willingness to trust your deeper knowing, your inner compass, serves as a powerful reminder to others that they, too, possess access to the same boundless wisdom. Your unwavering commitment to express your authentic nature creates an expansive morphic field of possibility, an energetic resonance that makes it exponentially easier for everyone around you to remember who they truly, magnificently are. This is why your personal awakening, your individual transformation, is never just times personal. In a quantum universe where everything is intricately interconnected at the deepest energetic level, your personal metamorphosis ripples outwards, creating profound shifts through the entire vast web of consciousness. Consider the individuals in your life who have most profoundly inspired you, who have ignited a spark within your soul. Chances are, They weren't inspiring because they had accumulated the most wealth, or achieved the most external accolades, or conformed to the most superficial standards of beauty. They were inspiring because they were times being themselves, times most fully, most vulnerably, most courageously. There was an undefinable something about their presence, their palpable authenticity, their profound willingness to be vulnerable and real, and gloriously, imperfectly human, that touched something deep, resonant, and ancient within your own being. That, dear one, is the immeasurable gift you offer the world when you commit, with every fiber of your being, to living authentically. You become a beacon, a radiant reminder, a living, breathing proof that it is indeed possible to navigate the human experience without perpetually hiding, to embrace vulnerability without becoming a victim, to embody true power without resorting to domination. But allow me to be unequivocally clear about something profoundly important. This journey, this path of conscious creation, is not about becoming perfect or achieving some mythical, final state of enlightenment. It is about becoming incrementally, relentlessly times honest asterisk, increasingly times present asterisk, increasingly times willing, times to show up as precisely who you are in each unfolding moment, even, and especially, when that feels messy, or uncertain, or beautifully incomplete. There will be days, many of them, when you will forget everything we've discussed, when you will slip, perhaps unconsciously, back into old, familiar patterns. There will be moments when you doubt your inner guidance, when the whispers seem to fade, and you revert to seeking external validation, external approval. There will be times when the perceived gap between who you are courageously becoming and who you have historically been feels so monumentally vast, so terrifying, that you will yearn, with every fiber of your being, to give up, to retreat, to return to the familiar, albeit suffocating, discomfort of your old life. This, my friend, is times, all times, an inherent, vital part of the process. This is times, all times, an essential, alchemical part of the awakening itself. The goal, the true north, is not to miraculously times, never times experience these moments of forgetting or doubt. The goal is to recognize them more swiftly, more gently, to extend profound compassion to yourself when they inevitably happen, and to return, with grace and unwavering love, to your authentic nature, rather than succumbing to harsh self-judgment. Because here is the profound truth I have discovered in my own often messy journey, and in witnessing the transformations of thousands of souls committed to this sacred path. The times returning times is infinitely more important, more strengthening, than the initial forgetting. Each time you consciously notice you have slipped into old patterns, and then choose times to realign with your deeper truth, you are actively strengthening your innate capacity to live authentically. Each time you catch yourself seeking outside validation, and then choose times to trust your inner knowing instead, you are deepening your unbreakable connection to your authentic nature. It is precisely like building a muscle. The muscle does not become stronger by miraculously never experiencing resistance. It becomes robust, resilient, powerful, by consistently working through resistance, by being purposefully challenged and then recovering, by being stretched to its limits and then integrating that new, expansive capacity. Your authentic nature is precisely like that muscle. It grows stronger, not by avoiding challenges to your authenticity, but by consistently, courageously choosing to be real, to be vulnerable, to be true in the face of those very challenges. By choosing radical vulnerability when armoring up, retreating would be so much easier, so much more familiar. By choosing profound trust when skepticism, cynicism would feel immeasurably safer. By choosing authentic expression when hiding, retreating into the shadows would be far more comfortable, far less exposing. And as this sacred muscle of authenticity grows exponentially stronger, something exquisitely beautiful, truly liberating, begins to happen. Living from your deeper, authentic nature starts to feel more fundamentally times natural times than clinging to your old conditioning. Being profoundly real starts to feel more inherently times comfortable times than perpetually wearing masks, performing roles. Trusting your inner, intuitive guidance starts to feel more fundamentally times secure times than endlessly relying on external authorities, external experts, external validations. This, my friend, is the undeniable signal that the transformation has truly taken root, that it has been deeply integrated into your very being. Not when you have achieved all your external goals or miraculously resolved all your personal issues, but when simply times being yourself, times feels like finally coming home, rather than taking a terrifying, unfamiliar risk. Most people, tragically, are simply not willing to pay this price. They would rather exist according to other people's expectations, following well-trodden paths that feel safe and familiar, even if those paths lead, inevitably, to lives of quiet, desperate unfulfillment. But if you have journeyed with me this far, if these words are landing, resonating somewhere deep within your soul, then you are not most people. You are someone who is undeniably ready to live authentically, fully, even if that feels initially uncomfortable. You are someone who is ready to trust your inner guidance, your deep knowing, even if it courageously leads you away from what others think you should do, what society dictates. You are someone who is ready to express your deepest, most magnificent nature, even if the external world isn't quite ready for the radiant truth of who you truly are. And here's what, with unwavering certainty, begins to happen when you make this profound, unshakable commitment to authenticity. Reality itself, the very fabric of your perceived world, begins to reorganize itself, gracefully, effortlessly, around your true, authentic nature. Not immediately, perhaps not with dramatic fanfare, but gradually, consistently, undeniably. Opportunities that precisely match your authentic self, your true energetic resonance, begin to appear as if conjured from the ether. People who resonate deeply with your genuine energy, your authentic frequency, are magnetically drawn into your life. Circumstances miraculously align to powerfully support the full, radiant expression of who you truly are. This, I reiterate, is not some ephemeral magic or wishful thinking. This is the precise, elegant mechanics of quantum physics in action. Your consciousness, your unique energetic signature, is quite literally informing the quantum field of infinite possibility about what you are now, truly, vibrationally available to experience, to co-create. And when your consciousness is profoundly aligned, when it is no longer fractured, no longer split between who you are and who you think, you should be, the field responds with remarkable, breathtaking precision. But here's the most crucial understanding, the subtle nuance about this quantum response. It does not necessarily give you what your personality wants, what your ego craves. It gives you what your consciousness is truly, deeply, vibrationally ready for. Sometimes, these are the same thing. Often, they are not. And learning to trust the profound wisdom of what you receive, even when it's not what you consciously expected, is absolutely essential to living a life of true, unadulterated authenticity. I vividly recall a transformative period in my own life when I was desperately, almost obsessively, trying to manifest a very specific, idealized relationship. I had constructed a crystal clear, almost photographic, picture in my mind of who I wanted to be with, what kind of partnership I wanted to create, how it would look, feel, and function in every detail. I was diligently employing every manifestation technique I knew, every visualization, every affirmation, striving with intense effort to align my energy with this precise, specific desire. And yet, nothing was happening. In fact, the inverse was unfolding. I felt increasingly isolated, more discouraged, more convinced that something was fundamentally wrong with me or with the manifestation process itself. It wasn't until I finally, completely, surrendered and let go, of that specific, rigid picture. When I dared to open myself to whatever form love truly wanted to take in my life, that everything profoundly shifted. What eventually appeared was not the person I had imagined, the partner my ego had meticulously designed. But it was times, exactly times, what I needed for my highest growth, my deepest healing, my soul's accelerated evolution, the relationship that manifested, while challenging in ways I hadn't foreseen, pushed me, lovingly and powerfully, to become more authentic, more vulnerable, more truly capable of profound intimacy. It was not the superficial fairy tale my personality had envisioned, but it was the profound, catalytic medicine my consciousness had been subtly, persistently calling for. This is precisely why the practice of times letting go times is so utterly essential to authentic creation. Not letting go of the core desire itself, but letting go of the fierce, white-knuckled attachment to times, how times, that desire times, should times manifest, to the specific form it times must times take. Not abandoning your cherished dreams, but releasing your rigid grip on the exact pathways and outcomes they times need times to unfold through. When you can desire without attachment, when you can set intentions without insisting on specific outcomes, when you can trust, deeply, that your consciousness, your higher self, knows better than your personality what will truly serve your highest evolution. This is when creation becomes effortless, fluid, imbued with grace. This is when you consciously step into what mystics throughout the ages have reverently called the time's flow of grace, *. Living consistently within this divine flow requires a fundamental reorientation to the very concept of time itself. Linear time, the unrelenting clock time, the crushing deadline time. This external construct creates an artificial sense of urgency, an underlying pressure, the insidious feeling that you are constantly running out of opportunities, that you must always be productive. But there's another, more ancient, more profound kind of time, what the ancient Greeks called times, kairos *, sacred time, the opportune time, the perfect time when things ripen naturally, when the energetic conditions are perfectly aligned. When you are deeply aligned with your authentic nature, you begin to instinctively sense time's kairos times time. You feel, in your bones, when it is time to act, and when it is time to patiently wait, when it is time to speak your truth, and when it is time to listen with open heart, when it is time to enthusiastically engage, and when it is time to gracefully retreat into introspection. This sensing, this intuitive knowing, is not intellectual. It is deeply embodied, viscerally felt, known in the very cells of your being. And when you act in perfect alignment with time's kairos, time's time, your actions carry an exponential, almost miraculous power. A seemingly simple conversation, initiated at the precisely right moment, can irrevocably shift the entire trajectory of your life, opening doors you never knew existed. A decision made when the timing is truly, cosmically right, can effortlessly unlock opportunities that no amount of frantic forcing could ever budge. An expression of profound authenticity, offered when another soul is truly ready to receive it, can catalyze a transformation not just within them, but within the collective field.